So today I want to talk about this one here. I named him Bolito based on his unneutered condition when I found him 4 years ago in my backyard, and he was a neighbor's cat, and they neglected him and kicked him out, thinking that he could just fend for himself. And he got into a lot of fights with cats, and he experienced a lot of trauma since. So I wanted to share what I've gone through with him, and because I know it's kind of difficult to find information on the internet that's actually helpful regarding cat hyperesthesia. I self-diagnosed it. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a vet. I just used open source, and I just went by what he experienced and what works for him, and depending on the circumstances. So I hope some of the suggestions I have and the remedies I have are actually gonna help you figure out how to make your cat feel better. It's all about bonding and literally figuring out what bothers your cat. And yeah, what is hyperesthesia? So hyperesthesia, the way I understand it is physically and emotionally triggered or triggered by trauma in high stress, high levels of stress, possibly long-term stress. So in Bolito's case, when he was kicked out, he was very scared, and so he got into fights with a lot of other cats. He was in pain, and he didn't know what to do, and then he ended up literally starving. And because he was starving, he ended up chewing on his tail. It's just like as a survival mode. So then I found him. I started feeding him. He was very aggressive toward me. Of course, he didn't know me, and I just kept tending to him. And eventually, when it was just very, when he got into a really bad fight with a cat outside, I mean, he could barely move, and he was crying. I took him inside, and he was just so happy being rescued by me. And then eventually the neighbors moved away, and he was my responsibility. But I ended up neutering him anyways prior to that because they couldn't afford it. I just did it. I didn't even tell them because he kept coming over to my yard, and he actually brought me a family of 4 kittens, a mom and a dad, that I ended up taking inside the house. So that's part of my black family. And one of the female kittens was very bonded with him, and it seemed to help him when they were together. He was very calm, so that was a very great relationship. But then she was a little bit wild, and she ended up escaping through the cat. You actually, before I had the chicken wire up here, she was able to bend a piece of metal, which is actually still here, and squeeze herself out through the tiniest spot. And then she never came back, probably because it was around 4th of July, and people were still doing a lot of fireworks. So yeah, so then he had sort of a void, and he kept acting up. And just recently I found a cat online that looked just like her, with the white spot on the chest. Turns out he's a boy, and then he's got a brother, so I'm like, I can't separate the brother, right? So I adopted both of them, and he's actually in love with that boy, so it's really helping him emotionally. So but what I noticed with him is, so every time the weather is like windy or cloudy or cold, or thunderstorms, he gets extremely triggered, and he's very scared. So what helps him is, when he's getting a lot of attention, a lot of pets, when he's cuddled up in a warm blanket. That's of course in the winter time, and lots of playtime, lots of distraction. But if I don't pay attention, then he starts chewing on his tail, and he's very quick doing that because it's what he's been doing for a long time before he even met me, and before I took him in. So I have these remedies here that I want to share that I've tried out, But first you got to identify what is really the issue with your cat. Why is it triggered? Why is it, chasing the tail or chewing on the tail? Why is it constantly acting up, biting? Because it has a problem. It needs attention, and you need to figure out what it is that triggers things. So like in my case, like the weather triggers him a lot, and when he doesn't get attention. Oh, and he's also very manipulative. So if I don't feed him in time, he purposely starts chasing his tail, and then he knows I'm going to jump up and help him immediately, tending to his tail and feeding him. But I've tried out a bunch of remedies. I also went to the vet, and all they do is really they just drug him up. Didn't work, and it just caused him caused him other additional issues, and he just wasn't himself. And so I gave up on that, and I just did my own research, and this is what I came up with that are the best remedies. So the first one is the CBD oil that I use from Prana Pets. Is a full spectrum, 350 milligrams. It's for cats and dogs, and I give him like a drop that I rub on his gums, and I also put it in his food, and I can also put it on his wound, like where he chews on his tail. This is highly effective. It helps him snap out of his moment. So as soon as I give it to him, and then he's busy licking himself and whatever, and he's a totally different, calm cat. So this product, it's turned out to be very expensive. So it's a Thunder Wonders Cat Calming Paw Gel. I don't put it on the paws. I just kind of squeeze a little bit out and let him lick it off. And if he doesn't lick it off, I just put it again on his gums. It's about $19, I think, right now, and Chewy has it. But it lasts. I mean, if you give a strip of, like, let's say an inch per feeding, or maybe twice or three times a day, it'll still last you almost a month. And then when you get like very close to the bottom and you can't squeeze it out, I just cut off part of the tube, and then I still have like quite a lot of days left to utilize. This bitter apple spray, I spray on his wound when he opens up the end of his tail or part of his tail. Bitter apple keeps him from licking it off, and at the same time there's, I think, some alcohol in it that prevents him from not only chewing, but also it helps healing faster. You might also be able to make your own remedy. Just use literally rubbing alcohol and mix it with water and put it in a spray bottle, and that should pretty much do it as well. They probably won't like the smell as much, but it's very effective with cleaning wounds. Oh, and what I forgot also is colloidal silver. That is also very, very beneficial. Put it in water and also rub it on wounds. It's very cleansing and helps healing faster. This is another great product, Vetericin, also for wounds that you can spray on. So that helps him from, swatting and chasing his tail, because it just constantly itches and stuff. So this is a remedy that you can crumble, on his food. I don't know, some cats like eating it. In the beginning, he liked eating it separately as a treat, and then he kind of stopped doing it. Then I started crumbling on the food, and now he doesn't like it at all. But I like it. I actually use this myself. I crumble up some of these tablets, or what is it, like chewies, and I put it in empty capsules, and I take one before I go to sleep. It's very calming. It's really good for you too, especially if you go through a cat with hyperesthesia. And these are the treats lately, Pet Honesty calming treats. They like it. Everybody likes it, so I have to make sure that he's the one getting it. It may take up to an hour before they kick in, and he's a big cat, so I give him 3 in the morning and then 3 at night. I have another cat that's spraying. I give him like 2, and I could tell that 2 is like quite a lot for him. So you have to probably try it out. But if you need to snap them out, the best thing is CBD oil. That works right away, and then maybe the Thunder Wonders Cat Calming Gel. So yeah, that's what I do basically. And then lots of play, lots of attention. and he grew up with dogs, so his thing is, he's got like almost obsessed with licking. So he cleans up every cat, he cleans me, and he chews a lot, and he bites a lot. So that's kind of like, as soon as he's done cleaning, then the last thing that he does is biting. So, but as you can see, he's very calm right now, somewhat calm. And after I gave him all these remedies. So, and being in the sun, getting his vitamin D keeps him calm as well. So I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, you can send me a message. But these are the things that I've experienced over the years, and he's a very difficult cat. So, and I've had a lot of things changing in the house, but I made sure that he's always number one, making sure that he's taken care of and that he doesn't act up, right, Bolito? You pain in the rear. But he's an amazing cat. He's very smart. He's just a pain in the rear sometimes. But get to know your cat and figure out what's bothering your cat, and just kind of tend to it. But these remedies I gave you, they're not mind altering. They're just calming the cats and snapping them out of certain moments, versus going to the vet, which is very stressful. So you don't want to add more stress on top of the stressed cat anyways, and then you're just going to spend a lot of time and money, and you're wasting all these weeks and months that you're trying these drugs that are not helping, and that are actually causing issues with organs like kidneys and liver issues with cats. So these ones, as I said, are really, really helpful. And I can highly recommend the pranapets.com remedies. I have a lot of those, even for UTIs and all this kind of cat conditions. So you can immediately give it to them, and usually it resolves it within on the same day, instead of having to wait to get a vet appointment, and getting antibiotics, which are very difficult for cats, and then you got to deal with probiotics, and it just keeps going, where these products really help right away. And so I wish you good luck.